Good morning, everyone. Today, Friday, is soon to be over. I'm sitting in my room enjoying some Asahi Super Dry, full size with a removable top. That, yeah, people argued about the first one. Argued, maybe not. I'm making a bigger thing of it than it is, probably. But yeah, it was a discussion at least about it. So I'm finally done with visiting all the prefectures on Kyushu. So Hakata, Fukuoka, Ken, I think. Well, I've been to several times before. So, and I know I visited the first day with the car. I visited Saga. Maybe it was the second day. Yeah, it was the second day where with the walking on the cliffs and Saltwater Cave. That was in Saga, and then I went to Nagasaki, and uh, yesterday I went to Oita, Beppu, and today I've been to Miyazaki, Kumamoto, and now Kagoshima. So all of them counted. I also have seen some times when they categorize the prefectures or the regions, they sometimes include Okinawa in Kyushu. I think that is wrong. I think it is in its own category, but I guess if you need to place it somewhere, you place it with that. I don't know if it is that or if it's just some of the images I looked at. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna do Okinawa now, anyways. And Kagoshima, well, if we start from the beginning, I went from the Ryokan this morning after a fantastic breakfast. I started going, and I had three things marked uh, for Miyazaki, and two of them I had removed yesterday, and I think I mentioned it as well. I decided to go to the I don't remember the name, but it is basically uh, a ravine with water and stuff. I had removed that one. I wanted to see it, but I had removed it because when I researched it, it seems to be a very one of the the largest tourist spots, except Fukuoka, on the entire Kyushu. And it also seemed to be very, very popular with Westerners and very known. And I got very apprehensive when I looked at it, and then I tentatively removed it. But then I would pass it anyway because of the route I was planning to drive um, to Izumi. I would, well, the best path was kind of very close to it. So I added it anyway after a friend of mine mentioned it. And because she and another friend of mine wanted to visit it, or actually, she didn't say if it was both of them, but she wanted to visit it, and it was a hassle. And I had the car, and then I thought, well, I'm still close to it. It could be good. What's the worst thing that can happen? And so far, when I've encountered tourists, I haven't seen many foreigners. And not to be racist, but Western tourists are usually pretty annoying. It's worse in Tokyo and the Kyoto area for sure, but they most of them don't really appreciate the culture, which I ranted about before. And also, if it is many Westerners there, there are all right now. It's a tendency to be so much that it, it feels like a theme park where everything is just uh, I forgot the word. Pretend, not real. It feels too made up, and I don't like that. I want to have a more of serene experience where, and also a reason to talk Japanese, and also be met by the people I meet with appreciation. I mean, who don't want to meet people and feel that they are genuinely interested and happy in talking to you? But it seemed like it might be the same first, and I gave it a shot no matter what. And the place in and of itself was very similar to the suspension bridge in like, okay, it's good and amazing uh, scenery and nature and things to look at, but it was super crowded with people from all over. Japanese, even though it felt like the Japanese tourists were in a minority, the vast majority was Chinese speakers, Taiwanese, or I don't really know the languages they speak, but it was Taiwan was the highest one, and then there were other Chinese derivatory nations, a lot of, and then Westerners, and in the last category, I would say Japanese. I heard Japanese be spoken a couple of times by the people that were there for touristy things, but most of them spoke Chinese or a Chinese similar language and English. And the first warning when I got there that it was both worse and less were both as I expected. Not it's not no longer both. It was worse than I expected in some areas and better in other areas. So, for instance, when I came and was gonna drive to a parking lot that I had already scouted out, that was huge. There were parking guards outside that forced me to go down a road I did not want to take. And I wondered why they forced me to do that, because how could they know? Well, everyone that comes to this desolate place, which is in the middle of a road, kind of, comes there for that and nothing else, and all the parking spaces in within at least 10 kilometers from the gorge was dedicated to this, as I later found out. So I was directed to one other, which were farther down the road, and there I parked in the most impossible space with guidance. They decide where you park, and then a person guides you and said, "Park here," and I'm like, "Yeah, I would never park there if it were any other situation because looks too narrow." But it went well. I mean, parking there wasn't the problem in my mind anyway, but it actually was more roomy than I thought. So once again, flashback to yesterday about having a feel for the car. These Japanese cars, they are strange. So yeah, that was the first warning sign when you know there are five parking lots for a place and there are guards on the road that are directing traffic in this area. You get kind of suspicious. And then when you got off and there are every single parking spot kind of was filled up and there was hordes of people, almost shoulder to shoulder Kyoto style, of people everywhere. And this is one of the things I try to avoid the entire trip. And I was like, okay, well, they looked Asian, so maybe they were Japanese, I hoped. And then I got stopped by a group of them that was blocking some stairs, and they spoke not Japanese, not English, and maybe Chinese. And they tried to get something from me. I tried to reply in Japanese and in English, and they didn't understand. And then they had a 10-year-old that was all just pointing at me and saying, "Oh, cool, cool, cool," and he at least understood that. Yeah, well, I'm pointing at a sign, which I find one of the reasons why I don't think they were Chinese, because it was kanji on them. Kanji, I know that most of these kanjis are very, very similar in Chinese, and this sign said kind of go down here. The reason why they were confused was because you had been directed across the bridge, and all the signs before the bridge and all the signs when you look try to look at this information in English or non-Japanese says that the place is on the other side of the bridge, and then you cannot, there is no pedestrian crossing on the bridge. And I mean, it's hundreds of meters down and you don't know how to get to the other side of the bridge. But they were standing just in the way of the stairways that led down the gorge to where you could go up to the other side and actually start looking at the thing they came there for. And the the sign was a wooden thing with kanji letters for this place, and it was Takai, Yama, and some other kanjis that most Chinese usually are able to read, but I don't think they could because they were super confused, and I was pointing at it, and in the end, the kid got it, and it was like, oh, he means we can go down this road, and then they started going down the same road. I later found a reason to tie my shoelaces that need tying so that this huge family could move along a bit and I could go down, and it got significantly more crowded after that. I mean, when I saw the trail that was going through this thing, it was packed with people. And when I came to the bottom, a person saw I had to change to this because when I stepped out of the car, which the AC is amazing, and I also realized the reason why my gas runs out is because it started to get warm, and you obviously it needs to take the energy to run the AC from somewhere. I did not make the connection that the AC is the thing that makes me need to fill it with gas so much more because it's 30 degrees outside, super super hot, and starting to get humid also, and so I had to change when I was stepping out of the car with my long trousers and my shirt. Sure, it didn't, it goes only here, but it was still like I need to ventilate. And even so, even with this and short, I sweated within 5 minutes going from the car. It was so hot and no winds. No winds whatsoever in this gorge. It is super hot, and when you came down to the bottom of it, it was hot and humid due to, I would assume, the water, the stream that was part is part of this thing. So yeah, so yeah, going down, someone saw me and saw Brazil and was speaking in English and said that he's been to Brazil several times, Japan several times, and we started talking about this and that, and he had done precisely what I was looking for because I had looked of the crowd and tried to figure out a way to circumvent the crowds and still get a decent experience. And so I was considering going up the car road instead of going the other road. And he said that was a better idea. He confirmed my idea because he had done the same. Well, the first time he came from the same direction as me, he did a mistake of actually going with the crowds and thinking that it would clear up, but no. So I went up and then I went into directly into the path instead from the natural starting point, the starting point where they had a very strange parking lot, which it was many spaces, but they had cordoned it off for some reason, and I don't know why. Maybe it was too close to the entire thing and would probably be overcrowded or something like that. And be- because every other parking lot was like 2 or 3 kilometers away from this spot, and this was just next to the start of the trail for those that went there for religious purposes, and just next to the boat rides for the couples or families that want to hire or rent these rowboats you could use for going in the water between in the gorge, at the bottom of the gorge, in the street or whatever it's called. But yeah, no one could park there. So anyway, there was so many people. I went around. I managed to find a lull in the people going along the trail, and went with when it was kind of lunchtime, I guess. Everyone was buying food at this very strange food court that barely seemed Japanese, and there was some people going, and then I met a Japanese person, but he he was just walking, and they were with some old ladies and stuff. So I took some photos, took some videos, watched things, tried to take it in and filter out everything else, and it was an okay experience, but I would not recommend it. I mean, too many people makes these kinds of experiences bad. Going down in the boat, I would say would probably be worth it. I did not feel like queuing, and also it's a it's a like 500 meters extra to walk to the boat place, and I assumed that it would probably be filled up. I didn't get there early enough. I had 2.5 hours drive to get there, so I couldn't, due to the breakfast being at a certain time, and yeah, I wanted the breakfast at the Ryokan. That experience was amazing. So yeah, but it looked okay, but it was too hot, too much people, and too commercialized, the entire experience, and especially of being in the middle of nowhere, and you can only get there by bus, which when I came to the end and saw that there were like 200 people waiting for buses, and one bus barely had enough room for anyone. It was mostly the Japanese people driving. The Chinese people were, some of them were driving, but most of them were also taking buses. So it felt a bit like a disappointment, like they were destroying this possibly great place. So, but it was a good thing because in Miyazaki, this prefecture, I didn't want to go to the coast because then I would arrive where I am now too late. So it was nice, and I got some walking, and walking up and down and sweating, and I mean, I need to burn some calories anyway. Then after that, I went to Kumamoto and got disappointed. I had found a very interesting restaurant that I wanted to try, but when I came there, there was a sign outside, a handwritten sign that said something with "It's over," and I uh, actually took a picture of it and translated it in Google, and it said that today's opening is over. So that's the problem, I guess, when you are having an activity that, or rather, a restaurant that is driven by a family. Uh, they, if they run out of ingredients during Saturday, they just close the store. It's not like it's chain or something. So then I just continued. I stopped at one place to at least do something in Kumamoto. I first thought of going to the castle, but the castle was already closed, so I proceeded further away to the last prefecture. So I'm probably gonna take the castle on the way back because my home route passes the castle, and I should probably be there in good time. So tomorrow. So then I just went here to Izumi where I had rented this, and this was very cheap and very convenient. Izumi is kind of a samurai town. It has a lot of samurai, uh, activities, museums, and heritage connected to the samurai area. And I just wanted to find something that was close to the locations I want to visit. Quick visits, not anything spectacular, just something to do. And I found this an automated kind of trailer park. This entire room is in a trailer. And as I understood it, this chain of hotels is everything is completely movable. So you just need a truck and you can move this entire room and stuff. And it looked from the outside, it looked very neat, but also very budget. And but since everything looks so fresh, it also looked like this could be something. And I must say, the room is amazing. It's extremely fresh. It has air purifier and humidifier, and it has a good AC. Everything is fresh, including the the fridge and freezer. I mean, this is basically what you need. If you could just take this and drive around for the same price that I rent night, it would be cheaper than the apartment I have in Tokyo, and be more than enough. The only problem then would probably be the parking and electricity and stuff, but it's amazing. I'm happy with it, and it's in a good location. I got some sightseeing done now before the light came out, and I found a replacement restaurant for the one in Kumamoto, a ramen place, and it it was very it started very normal, but then I was the only customer there, and they started talking to me, and another longer, meaningful conversation that am happy about, even though I feel my problems. I can express quite a lot of things, and it is redeeming of my dips in my self confidence or whatever it's called lately about my Japanese. I need shit tons of words. I think that is what I need mostly, and then yes, train with grammar. So a good conversation with her, and then I went through to Lawson's to buy some beer, umeshu, and snacks because I decided on early night today. Then I'm gonna probably go down to Kagoshima City tomorrow, and then go up to Kumamoto Castle, and then all the way back to return the car and have a chill evening before I fly home on Monday. That is planned. Let's see how it goes, and that's it. Yeah, the sashimi place in Oita. I had to skip because of time constraints and because the breakfast was so large, I would not be able to enjoy it. I would just eat for eating's sake, and that was a bit sad, but it's okay. It's still marked on my map. I removed every place I've been to that I don't want to revisit. And so there are still some places I want to visit on Kyushu, but other than that, I feel I'm done with it, so to speak. Not done, but I feel like I have explored it a bit, got a sense of each prefecture. Miyazaki, no, that was just a tourist place. But Miyazaki, I have at least done something in Miyazaki, and that is good enough. So I am actually thinking of going through my photos and locations to see which prefectures have I been in and done something, and which prefectures do I want to replace. Like Kumamoto, I will replace. I have done it now. I stayed at a place, I did some things, but I didn't really go all the way. Um, so I want to have done something in each prefecture. So I want to check off this and make a list with a list kind of a map with one significant photo of every place I've done something, preferably with me in it, so I can have like all 47 prefectures like done a bucket list kind of thing. So Tokyo, I have too much and all of those. But yeah, I think there will be a fun thing to do. Hokkaido, I've done. I mean, Hokkaido is just one thing, so uh, that's done. So I don't think there is so that many left. Probably, I probably have done around the third, maybe at least the fourth. I mean, seven here. Yeah, I think it's kind of not that many left. And if I dedicate my experiences to different places, which I've never really done, I mean, this is the first time I tried to take in the culture in this way. I always been doing it in another kind of sense. Anyhow, that will be it for today. I will schedule this as well to be released 4 a.m. Swedish time. Uh, yeah, so good night.